Hello, learners, and welcome to week 20 of Foundations to Reconstruction. This week we are continuing on with Unit 3. We're going to be completing Unit 3.9 and 3.10. We are focusing on the big concepts of Jackson and his administration, as well as the Missouri Compromise. And here's a video I found on Andrew Jackson. He was seen as like the common person's president. He was very unique, very original for the time period, and very different than his predecessors. So here we go.
Up until 1829, all of our presidents had been aristocratic, dignified, educated, and presidential. And then came Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson represented America's common man. And by that, we mean he was a man who commonly looked for a fight wherever he could. He fought in the Revolutionary War when he was 13. He fought in the War of 1812. He invaded Florida in 1818. And he still found time to get into plenty of duels, getting shot 3 times for his efforts.
Is that all you got?
Thomas Jefferson said,
I feel much alarmed at the prospect of seeing General Jackson president. He is one of the most unfit men I know for such a place.
But many Americans thought a common man like Jackson would best represent their wishes for America's future. The election of 1828 was a rematch between Fancy Pants John Quincy Adams and regular guy Jackson. And things got ugly fast. Adams called Jackson
a barbarian who could hardly spell his own name.
Jackson replied,
It is a poor mind indeed, which can't think of at least 2 ways to spell any word.
Apparently, there's only one way to spell loser, because Adams was defeated. And Jackson became president. Jackson said no to any legislation that expanded the federal government, or that he thought did not benefit the common man. This philosophy became known as Jacksonian democracy.
The democracy that he created, the democratic process that he created, and the Democratic Party that he created put the people really in the middle of everything. And we are the children of that very system.
The trouble was that Jackson's definition of a common man was, well, usually a white guy who had a lot in common with him. Even though the Supreme Court had ruled in favor of Cherokee rights, Jackson authorized the Indian Removal Act, forcing tens of thousands of Native Americans to leave their land. Jackson was also a strong supporter of states' rights, in theory. But when the citizens of South Carolina refused to follow federal laws on tariffs because they saw the tariffs as unfair, Jackson immediately threatened to hang their leader, his own vice president, John Calhoun. Ouch.
Andrew Jackson is an interesting example of a figure becoming president. He's a military figure who rises to the office and has to deal with a number of different issues. A very contentious Congress and a lot of fights between him and the Congress over who should really run the government.
Jackson's biggest fight was with the Second Bank of the United States.
Jackson and his associates thought that this was a monopoly, that this was run by rich people for rich people, and that it should be destroyed.
Jackson was sick one night in the White House, and his vice president came by to see him, Martin Van Buren. And Van Buren looked at him with great concern because Jackson looked so sick. And Jackson roared up and said, "The bank is trying to kill me, Mr. Van Buren, but I will kill it." And he did.
To the dismay of Congress, which supported the bank. Andrew Jackson had strong opinions and was always fighting. Sometimes because he just liked to fight, but usually because he was fighting for a better America.
Okay, so hopefully you got an idea of who exactly Jackson was. He was, like I said, for the common person. He threw like lavish, like crazy parties at the White House. People hanging off like chandeliers and just craziness. He was unlike any other person who had had the presidency before, so it made him extremely unique. Okay, so remember, going into your Google Classroom, I didn't post 20 yet, but obviously you're completing number 20 and answering it. Now you will see that Google Classroom does look a little different. If you've been doing your Connects You each day for your learning guide, you will have seen this, but it's a little different now, and some people like it, some people like the Keller back, but yeah, so anyway, making sure you're doing your Google Classroom, and we're just moving along here, and okay, so any questions or concerns, reach out to me, and if not, you have a great productive week. Remember, we are moving into the second half of the year now, so just keep that in mind and do the best you can. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.